Howdy friends, and welcome to the Omnivore Blade Works Armory. I'm Jared, and this is the first video in a while, and I'm hoping that I can actually keep up with some videos. So basically this is a status report on things regarding tomahawks and a couple of the projects in the shop. And we'll just do a little tour, walk around, and explain some stuff. So here we go. So we got here the wall of tomahawks, and all the ones you see that have the malice clips tucked away up in the sheath, where it means you don't see the ones dangling down, right there and up there. Those are all completely done. The ones that don't have sheaths are not sharpened yet, and also I'm waiting on sheaths. So inside those sharpened, or inside those sheaths are an example. This is an example of one. The mohawk edge and the axe edge are razor sharp, and the underhook edges are not touched up after coatings. What was done before coatings is that the edges, you can see the little underhook edges, they were sharpened and then carbidized with a little tongue carb tool. And then once that was done, we did a final little sandblast and coated them. And I say we, I mean me. I identify as they. Just kidding. You dumbasses. Anyway, so that's what they look like prior to being sharpened. And then this is what they look like when they would ship to you, unless you specify that you really want to have that little last bit so that it'll catch your fingernail, which it almost does now. So what I would do there is I would just take a little stone, probably a 400 grit stone, and then a 1200 grit ceramic rod, and just get that so it's pretty sharp. Only sharpening this side because the other side, like I said, has tungsten carbide spark deposited into it, so it makes it more wear resistant in that zone. The sheaths are similar to the previous design, but the molly panel is ambidextrous, so you can take it off and put it on the other side without removing any malice clips or anything like that. And also the geometry of the slot is a little different than it was. It has a rounded corner in here instead of the sharp edge, which makes it easier to actually pull it into place. It just slides up really easy. And then I eliminated the forward pocket area because I needed to have that zone for here. So the tomahawk retains in the sheath with these two features. They just stick into those little indentations. They just poke right into the head, and that's what keeps the tomahawk in the sheath when it's unlocked. So it's very secure. All of them are the same. I made a mold. It's really pretty awesome. All right, so that's that. I do happen to have two more Taipan Tama thingies. They're available. I've got some handy opossums that need sheaths, and I also have a few more karambits in 1095. For those of you who haven't seen those, they come with a trainer with just like this. This is made out of some crummy steel that didn't harden properly, so I had to make new ones. But the benefit to you is that you get a free trainer with your karambit. I sold a handful of them so far, but I think it's really good design for a karambit. It's actually something that's functional as a working knife as well as a self-defensive weapon. I have a few blemish tomahawks right here. They have little problems mostly in the head pockets because of the machining. Not really a big deal functionally, but they'll get sheaths and they'll be offered at a discount. Alright, now we're going to go sweat in the main shop area because it's really hot today. It's going to be a little noisy because of the overhead fan. I have one customer who's wanted a custom paint job on his tomahawk, so this is going to be for Simon in the outback of Australia. I'm going to be adding some green speckles to this. If you do want to have camouflage on your tomahawk, I can add it, but I got to charge extra because it takes time. Another thing I'm doing is trying to get this Tanuki katana worked out so it has a distal taper. So that's what it's blocked on. It's pinned on this square block so I can put it on my grinder and cut this flat part of the bevel down to make a concentric arc all the way up to here. Because I did a twisting bevel on this so that it will get a distal taper. Now here's the gununting and another Filipino stored, and I got some handle blanks finally cut out right before my CNC router computer took a crap. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. I haven't had time to mess with it. Then another thing I've been doing since the CNC machines have been problematic is get some hand sanding done on these Tanuki Wakasajis. This one is 3V. One side's done, and you can see on this it also is going to have a distal taper, so I'm going to send these off to Peter's Heat Treat as is, while there's still a flat area all the way up to, well, about 5 inches from the point. That way when they heat treat them, they can clamp them together during the tempering process and keep them straighter. And then after they come back, then I'll draw that concentric arc and do the distal taper while they're hard. On the 1095, four of them in 1095, I'm going to go ahead and do all of it prior to heat treat, because they just hang them in a salt pot and they heat treat them that way, so there's no straightening or tempering process. Surface rest. Also have a couple of Kodiaks in 3V. I believe they're spoken for, but I'm going to go ahead and do a satin finish on them too, because those are the last two that are ever going to be made in that pattern, unless you make it yourself. What else is going on? That's about it. There's the CNC mill set up for making sheaths, but it's being finicky. It won't zero for me. Nathan's going to come over and help me out, try to figure it out. And then once that's done, we're going to start working on all these blanks. We got some 1095 and some 3V swords and knives. And then we'll just keep on trucking. All right, so there's your 8-minute video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what's going on. I try to keep it open source if I can. That's the idea, is to share all the secrets as much as possible, so that if you have good ideas, we can build on them instead of keeping them secret. But there's no secret that I'm slow as molasses these days. There's lots of reasons, but we're going to try to get some tomahawks out the door and have a productive August and September and October, and then get all those 40 more tomahawks machined and coated, or machined and fully processed and then coated before it gets too cold to shoot coatings. All right, see you next time. Thanks for watching.